Hello friends, this is the second lecture about Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization. And in the last lecture, I have already explained it to you that why this Indus Valley Civilization was called Indus, why this name was given to it. Then I have also explained to you the geographical extent to which it was present. Geographical extent was already explained. Today what I am going to discuss is the economic conditions which were prevalent at that point. Economic conditions. Now if we look into the economy of Indus Valley civilization, we will understand that it was a surplus economy. Surplus economy. It was a surplus economy. That means enough surplus was being produced that a city culture or what we call urban culture was also sustained. So here we know that because of the surplus economy only, it was possible that the urbanized cities were possible. Now when I say urbanized city, it is very clear that here the people are involved in trade. Thus if a question comes that what was the primary activity of Indus Valley people, it was trade. Although they were also doing agriculture and their agriculture was very good in nature. If we need to know something more about the agriculture, we will understand a point that at that point of time, Indus Valley region was a mildly fertile region. The fertility of this region was because of Indus River and its tributaries. If we'll read about all the ancient civilizations, we'll get to know that all the ancient civilizations were found on the banks of the rivers. The initial habitats of people were around the rivers, and it was so because along the river they could have got fertile land. Fertile land was available for agriculture. Secondly, easy to get fishes, marine life, which was good source of protein, and these fishes or marine life was less likely to attack the people. That is why we see all the initial civilizations, they were present in these river valleys. If we name few of them, then we can say the first civilization we can say is it was Egyptian civilization, and this was present along Nile River. Then second civilization if we talk about is Mesopotamian civilization. This Mesopotamian civilization was along Euphrates and Tigris. These rivers are flowing through present day Iraq. Then if we look towards Chinese civilization, it was present along Huanghe River. Huanghe and Yangtze. So primary civilizations of that time were all along the river valleys, and because the river valleys were providing so much of resources to the people that they were able to sustain their difficult life in these valleys. Now if we move back to Indus Valley and talk about its agriculture, one prominent feature here was that they were not using irrigation. Canals were not present in the region. Second, they were not using plowshare. And although I have already told you that there are few exceptions to these, and you need to remember those exceptions. But in general, the rule is that irrigation is not found here, plowshare is not found here. And why this irrigation is not done? Because every year Indus used to flood, and then the seeds were sown in the flooded land, which thus there was no requirement of this plowing. Indus Valley people were growing wheat. They were growing wheat, barley, rye, peas, sesame, and mustard. And one thing very important regarding them is that they were the first ones to introduce cotton. This cotton in the initial times was called Sindan by the Greeks. Sindan. So cotton trade from India is happening since Indus Valley civilization, and it was very much famous in Rome. And this also shows us that there was trade relations between India and Rome, and few names are present. They used to call this region of Indus Valley civilization as Meluha. Whereas in India, we also see the names like Dilmun, which is the name pertaining to present day Bahrain, and second was Makan. It is related to Makran coast of Pakistan. People from Indus Valley civilization also used to domesticate animals. As I have already told you, this domestication of animals had started from the times of Mesolithic age. So these people were also very much involved in domestication of animals. The kinds of animals which were domesticated at these times were oxen, secondly buffaloes, then goats, sheep and pigs. Goats, sheep and pigs. Their affinity towards the animals can also be seen when we see the seal of Pashupati. The name in itself regards him as the god of animals. And this seal is showing 4 animals which can be remembered in the form of BERT. B-E-R-T. B means buffalo. E means elephant. R means rhino. And T means tiger. And they were not knowing lion. They never knew about lion. And I will also tell you one more thing. In the later stages, we'll also read something related to Ashokan emblem. The Sarnath pillar of Ashoka is also having Ashokan emblem. There is also 4 animals. We'll study there 4 animals, and that can be remembered in terms of, if I say Ashokan emblem, which is also the official emblem of India. This is having 4 animals which are Bhel. B means bull, H means horse, E means elephant, and L means lion. So there may be a question in any of the exams that where Pashupati Sheel and Ashokan emblem are having which animal as common. So we can see elephant as the common animal in both. This is very much important to know that elephant can be seen in both the things. And from here we get to know that horse was not there in during the times of Indus Valley civilization. So horse was not known. We just know that horse was only evidence is found from Surkotada. I have already told you this thing. Surkotada is the only place from where the horse evidence are found or horse bones are found. Now let us talk about that IVC is many a times called the Bronze Age. Bronze Age. But one thing is very peculiar about it is that even though it was a Bronze Age, very less bronze equipments are found from this. Very less bronze tools are found. Now it was because that bronze requires copper and tin. Tin was not present in India at this point of time, and thus large number of bronze tools were not prepared, even though this is a part of the Bronze Age. And here I also want to make it very clear to you that Bronze Age never means that only bronze tools were required or used. Bronze Age also refers to the use of technology. Whenever I talk about an age which changes, this change in age takes place with the change in the technology. Thus, when we point that Bronze Age had started, it means that technological advancement had taken place. And this civilization is a very advanced civilization. It was a very advanced civilization. Thus, it is considered to be a part of the Bronze Age. Although, if we see other parts of India which are not under the sway of Indus Valley civilization, were still going under Copper Age. They were still going under Copper Age, and this is showing us that they were lacking in technology. Lacking in technology. A great example of their high-end technology was the pottery which was being used at this point of time. Pottery was made from potter's wheel. So there may be a question that in Indus Valley civilization potter wheels was used or not. So potter wheels were used, because of which a very good quality pottery was being produced. This good quality pottery was named as red and black ware, and an important characteristic of it was that it was glossy and shiny. We'll see later if we'll talk about early Vedic civilization, early Vedic age and then later Vedic age, then also the technology will not really reach to this level that their pottery will be of bad quality as compared to this. Thus, this pottery clearly shows that how advanced the civilization had been at that point of time. It is quite evident that trade was very much important in their life. How am I saying that trade was very much important? It can be seen in many ways. First is the presence of granaries. I already told you the largest granary was in Mohenjo-daro. Then there were 6 granaries present in Harappa. And then granaries were also present in places like Lothal. All these shows that these granaries were required in order to keep grains which were used for trade. Then we can also see when we study about the seals. Seals are a very important sign which shows us that trade was happening with Mesopotamia. Because Indian seals are found in Mesopotamia, and Mesopotamian seals are found in India. Indian seals were primarily, I am not saying all the seals, but primarily they were square in shape, whereas Mesopotamian seals were cylindrical in shape. They were cylindrical in shape. Few more important points one needs to know about these seals. These seals were made up of steatite, which was a soft rock. These seals were not only used for trade but also for other purposes. These were also used as amulets. Amulets in Hindi can be called tabiz. What we use in order to ward off the bad spirits. So it was being used for that purpose as well, and for religious purposes also. And the most common thing which can be seen in these seals is unicorn. Unicorn can also be called humpless bull. Few more important points about the trade was that commodities they produced were not having enough of the raw material, and thus raw material was also being imported from outside. Not only export of commodities was taking place, but the import of raw material was also a prominent feature of this time. Secondly, the wheels were also known to Indus Valley people. Wheels, but these wheels are without spoke, or what we call as complete wheels or solid wheels were present at this point of time. Next important thing to talk about is political organization. Although I have also told you in the last lecture, organization, we are not very sure that what kind of political organization was present at this time. But we are sure that there may had been a central authority, and there were some evidences which were present of this central authority. These evidences were the presence of granaries, which can be seen as the places where the grains were stored, which came in the form of the taxes. So taxes were stored. Second, we can see the bricks were uniform allwhere. Third, the pattern of cities, that is citadel plus lower town orientation is present in all the cities, and this somewhere shows that there was a kind of a central authority. But again, this central authority cannot be said that it was particularly being ruled by a certain class of people. There are speculations about it. Some say it was a trading class which was ruling, and others say it was the priests. But for priests, we can say that complete absence of temples rules this out completely, and trading class is the best guess which is possible about these times. Why am I always saying about the guesses? Because this period of IVC, in the overview I have told you, is a part of proto-history. And in proto-history, we don't have the written records which are readable, and hence whatever we are speculating is speculating on the base of the things we have got. So there is no clear picture. These are all speculations and these are all interpretations what had been done by the historians. One unique thing about their political organization is that they were lacking in weapons. This is a very important thing, and this may have become the reason of their decline, that when the people, the enemies came to their country, they were not having any kind of weapons to defend them. This lack of weapon is also pointing towards the ruling class being the trading class, because trading class will never focus on weapons, they'll always focus on their trade. If we talk about the religious practices of this time, we can clearly point out some issues, and the first is that they were nature worshippers. Secondly, we can say that number of female goddesses was more, and only one god is seen. Only one god is seen. When we talk about female god, there is a figure, terracotta figure of goddess Earth. Why am I saying her as goddess Earth? Because it's a figure like this, a woman is standing, but on top of her there is a embryo or a plant which is coming out. This is showing the signs of origin. Thus it is also can be attributed to goddess Earth. Whereas if I talk about only god, that is Pashupati, who is represented in a seal that is made out of steatite, which is a soft rock, and he is surrounded by animals. I have already told you bird. B is buffalo, E is elephant, R is rhino, and T is tiger. All these four are present. So male and female gods were there, but more of the female gods were there than the male gods. Then the next thing can be seen that they were phallus worshippers. What is phallus? Phallus is the male reproductive organ. Next we can talk about is the status of women, or in general we can talk about society. It is not clear that it was a matriarchal society or not, because if we compare it to Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia was having clear-cut matriarchal society, but here we don't know that it was matriarchal or not. But what is for sure is that status of women was very good. Women were having very much equal status as that of men, and this shows the progress of the society, that the society was very progressive society. Another talking point is the script of Mesopotamia. I already told you in the overview that it is called Bostrophodon. This is a unique kind of a script which is left to right, then right to left, then left to right. In comparison to this, if we see Brahmi script, we write from left to right, then again from left to right, then again from left to right. And if we see Kharoshti script, we always write right to left, right to left. this is used for primarily Urdu and this is used for Hindi. So the script which was written at this point of time was Bostrocadon, and it was right to left, then left to right. It is also called serpent-like script. Then the inscriptions were not very long inscriptions. And the third thing is that this script was not alphabetical. It was not alphabetical, but it was pictographic. This is very important point, that it was a pictographic script. It was having symbols like if a man, now this, then a bird. So these kind of symbols were present at that time. It is called pictographic script. These were all the details about the Indus Valley civilization. Now let us talk about the decline of this civilization. Decline of this civilization. Because in decline also there are three different views. Few historians talk about a sudden decline, few talk about a gradual decline, and the rest talk about no decline or continuity theory. One of the main reasons for this sudden decline can be considered as Aryan invasion. This is the most talked about point, that Aryan invasion took place, and this civilization, people were not having enough weapons to defend themselves, and thus their whole civilization declined. Or other views are also present which says that earthquake may have come and they declined, or flood may have come which declined this civilization. In gradual decline theory, we talk about the ecological imbalance. Ecological imbalance which happened for a very long time because of the increase in salinity of the soil, and decline in fertility. This point is also a very environment centric point, which points to a situation where the forests of this area were cleared in order to prevent them from floods, because bricks had to be made. These bricks were used for making embankments of the river. For making these bricks, the wood had to be cut to use this wood as a fuel in the kilns, and hence when forests were removed from these areas, the rainfall reduced and hence the fertility of the soil reduced, which led to the ecological imbalance, and hence the agriculture declined, and the urban civilization was always depending on the surplus of the agriculture of the rural areas, and hence the whole civilization declined. Whereas there is a third view as well, which talks about this continuity hypothesis. This continuity hypothesis says that there was no decline, there was just the decline of urban culture. And everybody moved to the different places after this. Whatever happened, a very great civilization, a very advanced civilization of its time declined, and we moved to the next stage, which is Vedic age. We have already seen after this it is all a part of history, because before this we have seen this part is of proto-history. And this is the point where advent of Aryans can be seen. But I already talked about a situation where we see a reverse trend, where an urban civilization changed to a rural civilization. This discontinuity is very difficult to explain in Indian history. But after this, we'll talk about Vedic age in the next lecture, and we'll talk about it in detail, how the change took place, what happened from early Vedic age to later Vedic age. Till then, God bless you. Thank you.